Let's continue with irrational. How do we know if it is not if it's rational or irrational? If it's not rational. Rational, we talk about it already. Rational can be expressed as a fraction where n is not equal to 0. It should be repeating, decimal, and it should be terminating decimal. So if it's not one of these is not met, then it is not irrational. For example, we have the number pi, laging ginagamit to, then it is, you cannot express this as a fraction. It is not repeating decimal. It is not terminating. There are millions of decimals of this. It is not repeating, and it is irrational number. Another is square root of 2. Then it is not. We cannot do that. We cannot express in as a fraction, as a repeating decimal, terminating decimal. Maybe I am not saying truth now. Yes, it is not. And then there is later, we will study about this number, e. It is not also a rational number. There are a lot of this. For example, a number like 0.0333333333333. As you can see, it is like a repeating decimal, but you can see here there is 1 3, there are 2 3s, there are 3 3s, and 4 3s. Then it is not repeating decimal. Then it is not rational. It is irrational. Sometimes if we have, for example, square root of 16, for example, because we put the square root of 2 as irrational, then maybe we think because of its square root, then we will say square root of 16. But we know it is 4. Then it is not irrational. Cube root of 8, for example. Cube root of 8 is 2. Then it is not irrational. So be sure to consider or to classify a number as irrational. It should meet the criteria of a rational number. It should not meet the criteria of rational numbers. Next is performing calculations using the order of operations. You have heard about this. PEMDAS. You need to do the parenthesis first, and then you have the exponents, multiplication and division in the same level, and addition and subtraction in the same level. These are the orders of operations. I always say there are laws. These are in agreement with all the mathematicians. They agreed that we need to follow this, or else it could be chaos in the world of numbers. So we need to follow this. This is a rule. So if you do not follow this, your answer might be wrong, even if you think that you answered right. So you need to do that. For example, if we have, I will put A there, 24 add that with 6 multiplied by 2/3, subtract by 4 squared, for example. As you can see, there is exponent PEMDAS. Then we need to do that first. Then we have 16 there. And then we have also division and multiplication. So we can multiply first and then divide later because they are in the same level. And we have 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then we have 24. So we have 28 now, minus 16. Then we have 12. Let's see if we can see more examples. If we have another example there, 3 multiplied by 2 squared minus 4 multiplied by 6 plus 2. Then we need to do the parentheses first. Then we have 6 squared, 6 squared minus 4 multiplied by, we need to do the parentheses first. We have 8. Then we have 36 subtracted by, what will be 32. Then we have 4. Another example is, if I can put another example here, C. Then we have 5 squared, the square of 5 subtracted by 4 divided by 7, and then we subtract that by square root of 11 minus 2. Square root is an exponent, a rational exponent. So all roots are exponents. So we treat that as an exponent. So we have 25 minus 4 divided by 7 subtracted by 9. And then as you can see, this is a long, if you have 2 terms in the numerator and then 1 or 2 terms in the denominator, then you need to do first the numerator and then do the denominator and then divide. Like this one, we have 21. 21 divided by 7 minus 3. Then we have 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. Let's try this one also. How good? Where is it? Okay, here. 7 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3 in a parenthesis minus 2, and then we have the bracket, and then we have the parenthesis 6 minus 3 minus 4 of the square of 4 with an exponent of 4 plus 1. Okay, what we do first, parenthesis, then we have 15, and then we have 2, we have the parenthesis there, we have 3 minus, we have the square, and then 16 plus 1. Then we have 15 times 7, 105, 35, 10, yes, minus the parenthesis, we have, what will be 13, negative 13 plus 1. We have 105 plus 26 plus 1. And we have 100 2, 3, 132. It can be complicated, very complicated, but I hope you understand that you need to follow this rule. No more, no less. I will repeat. It should be the parentheses first, and then the exponents in the same level is multiplication and division, and then the last will be addition and subtraction. And you need to move from left to right. It says here you need to move from left to right. For example, I have 12 minus 3 plus 4. They are in the same level, but I need to move from left to right. So 12 minus 3 is 9 plus 4. And I have 13. Yeah, you need to do that from left to right again. Okay? I hope you learned something.